Now, would you buy a used car from this man?
It's coming. The most significant event in automotive history. It's coming. The end of the age of the automobile.
In case you missed the point, not buying is the idea. The campaign would prefer you to buy nothing from anyone, at least nothing that's advertised on television. Kalle Lasn is a Canadian who believes that our consumer culture is unsustainable. He calls for the birth of a new American dream through the pages of his magazine, Adbusters, and, when he can, through his own subvertisements on television.
People growing up in the society, they are literally brainwashed into a lifestyle of consumption. They are brainwashed into thinking that cars are really the only way to go, and that the fashions offered by Calvin Klein and all these other people, that this is really where it's at, and that alcohol and drinking are fun and wonderful and good things to do, and don't really have much of a downside. And even our nutritional agenda is determined to a large degree by the fast food companies like McDonald's. So in a number of important areas of our lives, our personalities and our lifestyles are being distorted. And now, especially the young people today, have to take back their lives somehow from these industries that are wielding too much influence.
Whose child is she? Yours or the network's? Take back your children. Turn off the TV.
We've had a lot of trouble buying airtime from the big commercial networks, especially in the United States, where the networks, when we try to buy time, they literally tell us to go to hell, and you know, why should they shoot themselves in the foot or in the tube by running our messages, which they think will really make their other sponsors angry.
Support has come from unexpected quarters. Tony Philpott is a talented ad writer who makes his living from the big commercial advertisers, but secretly gives Lasn a leg up on the side. I wondered whether he wasn't writing his own commercial death warrant.
Yeah, well, it's a little like the snake biting its own tail, but there's an inherent challenge in doing that. It's like this: if I can get Kalle to accept the mechanisms of advertising communication as a means of getting his information out there, he inherently accepts the validity of the process too. It's a sort of an inverted philosophy that takes place between the two of us. And that's essentially my reward, and also the fact that it's a salve to my conscience as well. I've been beguiling people for many years with creative communications.
About rubbish?
About, possibly not necessarily rubbish, but sometimes, yes.
So, if you were to try and succeed and create this dysutopia, get away from these material, this incessant pleasure which is being pushed at you, how would you go about it?
Well, I don't think you would go about it. I think the rails are already mounted. We're rocking and rolling towards the 21st century. And at the bottom line, I would suggest probably a votive candle in the church of your choice. Pray deeply, long, and sincerely.
I know I shouldn't do this, but I can't leave the last word to a cynic.
Yes, we're going against the tide, but I know that at the moment we're still at a stage where the global advertising industry is still growing. And here in North America now, they're advertising in washrooms, you know, even if you go into a male washroom, even while you're having a piss, there's an ad there looking at you. And even at the bottom of golf holes, suddenly you'll lift up your ball and you'll see an ad at the bottom of the hole. So in some sense, the advertising industry is still growing. But I personally feel that it's the last hurrah for the advertising industry.
By the way, did you notice that the Inland Revenue has bought advertising space to promote its self-assessment program on Chinese takeaway containers? Lasn would certainly like that. Advertising is litter. Literally. Good morning.